Hey, we are back. Episode 20. How many?
7?
How do you do that? 27 of the Metal Roundtable. I am Metal Rob, and with me as always is the great
Carcass John.
What the hell does your shirt say?
Blood incantation. You can't read? You can't read that?
No. Now, because I don't live under a bridge, I changed shirts between episodes.
Well, I love this shirt so much that I wore it again. Because I love this band. They're from Denver, Colorado. And if you want an atmospheric version of Nile, then they're your type of band. They're freaking awesome. I just saw them at Three Links with Neck Rot, Steel Bearing Hand, and a new local band called Frozen Soul. And if you're into Bolt Thrower or old Morbid Angel, like the original Altars of Madness, Symphonies of Sickness style Morbid Angel, then
or Dokken, if you're into like Dokken.
Dokken would have been. They would have done an Exodus on you, and they say, "You see that poser back there with the Dokken shirt on?" Anyway,
that's right.
I actually saw that happen. But yes, Blood Incantation, Denver, Colorado.
I'm cool. I have tribal.
That is kind of See, that looks like this logo. That logo could
looks like a pile of sticks.
Right.
Okay.
Blood Incantation. Very readable.
Well, yes. Sorry,
Here's
please.
my shout out. Don't forget to get your War Beast BCAD. These things they turned out great. This was really this was on the fast track. In fact, when I showed this to Phil Anselmo, production value. When I showed this to Phil backstage, he was astounded that we were able to put this together in short amount of time, because normally being on a larger label like Housecore, things take a lot of time. But the cover art looks great. It's a CD DVD. It's got pictures of the original band. This was the first gig that was played by War Beast when they changed their name from Texas Metal Alliance to War Beast. And then the DVD, which was supposed to be their return show, it ended up being their swan song.
Yeah.
Because of Bruce's health. So, but this is it's got a nice little historical blurb on the back. This is a piece of Texas metal history. Heck, let's just call it metal history, because with the amount of experience in bands, the connection to Hammer Witch and Gamma Side and Rigor Mortis and
Pantera. Phil sang with them a few times.
There you go.
Yeah.
This is really a great release, and they're going fast.
They are going fast.
And they are on RTC.
RTC Music and Media. You can find it on Facebook. You can also find it on eBay. There's an eBay store.
Maybe we can put a link down there so
Yep. So either way, you can find it. Once again, that's RTC Music and Media, all run together on Facebook and eBay. Now, what kind of toolbox did the artwork? Was that you?
The one that made that was wearing the same shirt for 2 episodes in a row.
Yeah, that's Carcass John's art. On the discs, on the front, on the back.
There's a limited edition poster. I don't know how many of those are left.
I don't know.
But they look awesome. They have an image of Bruce overhead. Maybe we can post one of those in the comments. But really a great... talk about production value. Bang, there it is. Live shot of Bruce in their last the last time they played.
Yep.
Juxtaposed with the album art.
Yep.
Oh, look, in that toolbox actually signed that with a silver Sharpie. Looks great.
Way to decrease the value.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that helps or hurts in this case.
As you know, Carcass John is a fantastic artist. Has done cover art and t-shirt art and sticker art and everything for tons and tons of bands. So if you ever want to reach out to him for art, he's at Carcass John Art. Did I get that right?
You got that right on Instagram.
See, I felt bad for kicking you in the pants.
Or Carcass John on Facebook. Hit me up. I'd love to help you. Believe me, it's more about the love of helping you out and the music part of it than it is about making tons of money.
He makes millions.
I'm not. Yeah. Yeah. I've been retired 3 times.
That's right.
But anyway,
spending all his money on unreadable T-shirts.
Oh, dude, Blood Incantation, they rule. Shout out to those guys.
I'll tell you who rules. right now.
Okay.
Put a stop to that crap right now.
All right.
So we just had our Metallica episode, 2-3 episodes ago?
Yeah,
I don't
something
know.
like that.
Well, you can't talk about Metallica without talking about
Angry Dave.
Megadeth. Whee! Yay! Okay, which is greater? I'm not even going to get into that. It's two different bands. Period.
It is two different bands.
And I'm tired of the crying. Dave, I love you, man. I've seen you so many times. And I think your catalog is just as great, but you were in Metallica for 9 months. 9 months. Come on, man. I get it, but you don't live in their shadow. You stand completely on your own. You're hugely successful. Let that be what it is. They didn't need you. You don't need them. Megadeth is a great freaking band.
Well, but to his credit, this is what I will say about that. I think Metallica lost their best songwriter when they booted or abandoned Dave in the drunken stupor in the warehouse. But instead of sitting around the house and whining and crying and they kicked me out of the band, he parlayed that anger and that angst into a cough that was so amazing. No,
I know.
Into a record that was. This is pretty amazing stuff. This is akin to Kill 'Em All, and I know I there are people out there that will disagree with me. Go ahead, disagree with me down there in the comments. But this is every bit as good as Kill 'Em All. And he's laughing at me for whatever reason, but I'm telling you, that's the way I feel about this. And I think if you want to go album for album, I think Megadeth is more solid. They're kind of like Overkill.
I can't. Well, yeah, we will get to that. I think.
I said it. I said it.
He did say it. I think this is good. I don't think it's amazing. I heard a few songs on the radio. Z-Rock. It's cool. It's okay. He loves it.
Well, but
as
bear
good
in
as
mind.
Kill 'Em All.
But bear in mind, Kill 'Em All. I like this as much as I like Kill 'Em All.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not saying it's their best.
Right.
So
I want to see if we agree on that.
okay.
We don't know. Unrehearsed. in case you don't know.
Unrehearsed.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
This, to me, is classic Megadeth, and the holy trinity of Megadeth albums starts right here, in my opinion. Fact check Lance, Goathead Lance will disagree with that.
Why?
Because he loves the first one.
Does he have the one with the Nancy Sinatra song on it? Well, then he's not a true fan.
No,
These
what?
boots were made for walking. Is it on your written?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Now,
You are a true fan.
Lance likes the first one, too, so this is
Well, I
where...
like this one better. There, Lance. Sorry, I have to disagree with you.
I like this one the best. Okay, sorry. Whoa. Of the two, I like this one the best. Wake Up Dead, The Conjuring, Peace Sells, Devil's Island, Good Morning, Black Friday. This is a great freaking record, man.
Yep.
I absolutely love Peace Sells, but Who's Buying? But, well, go ahead. You got anything to say about that one?
Ditto what he said.
Now,
I agree.
Now, Goathead, his head is going to explode, and he's probably pounding his dash right now if he's listening to us on YouTube. That's one thing we've figured out is a lot of people don't like to look at our ugly mugs, and who could blame them?
I wouldn't.
They just pull us up on YouTube and listen going down the highway. Well, here's the deal. I love it. I love So Far, So Good, So What. I absolutely love it. Now, it is not my favorite Megadeth album, but I'll tell you this. It's my second favorite. It is my second favorite Megadeth album.
I don't mind it. I like it.
I love it, man. This is another one that I bought, and
See what's on there.
my dad was not real stoked. I came out of work one afternoon when I was 16, and he's got the J card of the tape open, and he's reading the lyrics, and I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Dad's reading the Megadeth. That's not good.
Yeah.
But
Wouldn't
this
be good
one,
at my house either, but oh well.
This one, my buddy John Bachman and I rode around for hours, and this was another one of those tapes that we literally wore the letters off of the cassette shell because we played it so much. Set the World Afire, Anarchy in the UK, 502. That thing in the middle where he says a billion words. In My Darkest Hour is one of my very favorite metal songs of all time. Hook and Mouth, Liar. This is a fantastic album. Lance, I love you, brother. I do, but this is better than the first album. And now he probably just smashed in his computer. Didn't you? I know you did.
Well, I don't disagree with you. I think it's pretty solid. And now that you read the song titles, I'm like, huh.
Every stinking song.
You know, I don't have the luxury of just sitting around listening to music 24/7. So I have to pick and choose, and I have like you do, I have an extensive library.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen part of the library, but that's a pretty solid record right there.
I love it.
Just looking at the song titles, and when you see them live, you don't realize that there's so many songs played off that album, even when they're doing their back catalog. But now I see what I think we're going to agree on. Are we?
Is this... I'm just going to ask it straight out. Is this the greatest thrash metal album of all time?
Oh,
did I go too far?
you went too far. Yeah, that was a little bit of an overreach. But is it the best Megadeth album?
Oh, there's no question about that. Obviously, we're talking about Rust in Peace. To me, there is no question. Okay, is it the greatest heavy metal album of all time? Of course not. The first Black Sabbath would have something to say about that. Master of Puppets would have something to say about that. A million Judas Priest and Maiden albums.
Maybe we should have an episode on what we think is the greatest.
Yeah.
Now, see, we might have to script that.
We'd have to go to a top 10, yeah. But this, Rust in Peace, is the greatest Megadeth album. And if you disagree, I just need you to go back to sleep. This is it, man. This is it. I saw this tour on Clash of the Titans. They were dominating. Fortunately, they headlined the night that I saw them. They absolutely were dominating. This is my favorite lineup of the band. I believe this is the tightest lineup of the band, although the guys he's got now, man, are pretty unstoppable. But, dude...
I think Dave is always going to surround himself with great musicians.
Of course.
And as much as I miss Chris Broderick in the future releases, what he's replaced Chris
awesome.
with, and I mean, come on, man.
Wait till we'll get there.
We'll get there.
But it's, dude, this is I think I can defend this as a top 10 heavy metal album of all time. I think I can.
I'd be in the trench with you on that one.
Yeah,
Sure.
I love this record. I love everything about it. Nick Menza, rest in peace. Fantastic. Marty Friedman.
Jeez.
Amazing. Gosh, every song. Holy Wars, Hangar 18, Take No Prisoners, Five Magic, Poison Was the Cure, Lucretia, I love it. Tornado of Souls, I freaking love it. Dawn Patrol, Rest in Peace. I mean...
That's pretty solid right there.
That's a winner.
See, this is the one thing about being unscripted. I agree with you 100%, but then I'm looking at this, and man, let me tell you what. I don't know that there's a bad song on this record.
This, to me...
It's a little slower.
This is Megadeth's Black Album from Metallica. In my opinion. Now, think about what was going on. Metallica's Black Album comes out around this time. These guys put this out. They're both going for a bigger, broader, more commercial sound.
I agree.
But it's still very much Megadeth.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
It's still angry. It's
not that first album.
No.
Sorry, Goat.
Killer production.
Yeah, but man, Skin of My Teeth, Symphony of Destruction.
Boy, great song.
Architecture of Aggression, Foreclosure of a Dream, Sweating Bullets. They had great videos. The album had great production. They were building on the momentum that they got on Rust in Peace, which was wildly successful. But this gets them on MTV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This gets the videos played. So,
although I remember a few Headbangers Balls with
sure, of course,
Holy War, and
of course. But this is even more regular rotation with the bigger songs.
This will get you next to MC Hammer on the rotation.
I like this album quite a bit. I have great memories of this album. Where things start coming off the rails for me with Megadeth, and here's Hidden Treasures, and there's Hidden Treasures.
What is that? Is that, it's a...
Japanese edition.
You holding out on me again?
Yes, I am.
With more songs?
Yep.
Holy cow.
I know, pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. I actually like this, though.
Took me forever to find this one. The cool thing that's on here is the Alice Cooper "No More Mr. Nice Guy" is on here. Was that on the Shocker soundtrack? Maybe.
I think so. This was mostly soundtrack stuff.
And then "Go to Hell."
Angry Again was Last Action Hero.
Yep, and "Go to Hell" was on the Bill and Ted soundtrack. This is a good little record in and of itself. So if you can find a copy of this, man, you're going to get some cool
cover songs.
Maybe B-sides, cover songs, some stuff that was on soundtracks. Really neat. And if you really get lucky, you can find the Japanese pressing.
Which I haven't found the Japanese pressing.
With extra tracks, and I can't read that to tell you what the extra
Find the
tracks are.
Japanese pressing.
All right.
And hit me up down there. Talk to me.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
The driver's getting distracted.
Okay.
He hasn't had enough sleep. The coffee's worn off.
Is he experiencing euthanasia?
We're starting to head toward the ditch a little bit. Okay. This is a good album. I like Reckoning Day. I like Train of Consequences. I even like the ballad, A Tout Le Monde. I like it.
To me, this is the Black Album equivalent.
Really?
I think so. It's a little. It's slow. It's a little more appealing to the ladies. I think this is more equivalent to the Black Album. I think that the Countdown to Extinction is heavier than the Black Album.
Yeah, I think so too. And this is definitely moving them even more into a mainstream audience kind of thing. This didn't stick with me. What did you...
It didn't stick with me either. I have it because I have everything they put out, except for the Japanese version of Hidden Treasures, of course. But
I think he's going to fight me.
No, I'm not going to fight you. I don't have everything. But yeah, this is... Look, this is way better than Risk, let's be honest. So let's just leave it at that. It's a good record. It's got a couple of great songs on it.
Yeah. I'm okay with Euthanasia. It just didn't hold my interest. I bought it the day it came out. I was disappointed. I really got lost here.
I was more disappointed with that than I was
on
with
Cryptic Writings. I really got lost here. Trust was okay. Use the Man. I mean, it was really... Everybody said, they're trying to sound grunge. Well, I don't know about that, but they were trying to sound different.
It didn't have a polished sound like the previous records.
And I didn't get it. I can't spend a lot of time on this album, honestly, because it held my interest so little that I only know a couple of songs. I've listened to it all, but I just...
But that's why you find it in the cutout bin for
I didn't get
$1.99.
I'm glad I have it in the collection.
Oh gosh, I'm not glad.
Okay.
I actually have a Japanese copy of that. You want to swap for?
Oh no.
Your Japanese?
Oh no.
It even has the OBI.
I'm sure it does.
Oh.
I believe you.
I tried, man. I tried.
You see what I have to put up with?
I tried.
Buy a readable shirt.
No, if I had you in a headlock.
Now then I would trade you.
Giving you a noogie. Now that would be. Now I'm really trying then.
Okay. I think we're going to disagree on this.
I bet we don't. You know what I'm going to tell you? I'm going to tell you this is an interesting record. It has some cool songs on it. It's not a great Megadeth record. And I don't know what... I know what they were doing. They were just fulfilling a contract.
Mm-hmm.
And they put out just whatever came to their little ratty, little sober heads. Where they, I think they were trying to get sober here, right?
I can't remember. So... Risk comes out. I didn't like Cryptic Writings very much, so I'm worried about this.
You should have been.
And rightfully so in my head. But like you said, it's not a good Megadeth record, but there's some good songs on here. Mm-hmm. I like Enter the Arena. I like Crush 'Em. I even liked Breadline. Sue me. I thought it was a good album on its own. I was confused by it, but I did listen to this a lot. This got a lot of play for me. I like it. I think it's good.
It couldn't be any worse than Load or Reload or Saint Anger for the very same reasons.
Right.
It's just that they just did one of these. They didn't do three of these.
True, because immediately, and I'm missing. I realized that I'm missing, and they didn't go straight from this. Well, hey, it's our show. We're gonna miss out.
Production value.
So, I don't remember exactly what came after this, but I'm missing United Abominations.
Oh.
I think
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think United Abominations is a good record. I think it started getting them back on the path to being Megadeth.
Yes.
Saw 'em on that tour a couple times, opening for Heaven and Hell. I think I thought it was pretty good. Um, United Abominations, I think I can absolutely recommend.
I think so
I
too.
think I
I
can
agree.
recommend that album. And then we're going to go through these pretty quick because
Although,
we're going to.
go ahead, fire away, fire it in game. That's the best thing that they've done, maybe since Rust in Peace.
Oh, I disagree.
Okay.
I'm going to disagree with you on that. This is a good album. This is a solid Megadeth album. Go ahead.
No,
You're
I
doing
mean,
great.
the first track, I'm hooked,
I got to
and
get my glasses.
I'm all over it. And the fact of the matter is I was pleased that they weren't going the direction that they were headed with cryptic writings and Risk, but this thing is pretty ripping. And Chris, and I think this may be Chris, since this was what his next to last record. He was competing with Dave on this record, and I think it showed. There's a little more.
Lot of killer guitar playing.
There's a little bit of tension there, guitar tension, but I think this pushed Dave to bigger and better things because there was that tension there.
So Endgame, good record. We like it. Solid. I need to refamiliarize myself with this. I don't have a ton to say about it because I simply don't. I don't remember. So maybe that'll be homework for tonight.
I remember seeing them on a was it a Gigantour with with them, and it was Motorhead and somebody else. And Motorhead dropped off, and I went to the meet and greet with a friend of mine, and I asked Chris. I said, "So now that Motorhead's not on here, maybe we can get into a little Jag Panzer or something." And yeah, he says, "I don't think the redheaded boss would let us." So there was already something going on there, and as it ended up, Megadeth just played more songs. Oh, it was Volbeat.
I gotta grab that. I forgot it.
Uh-oh.
It's sitting over here.
Oh yeah,
More production value.
great production value.
So we've probably skipped some stuff again. I can't tell you. This is 13. I can't tell you a thing about this album.
It's like an exit. It's like an exit resume for everybody, or a letter of resignation.
Yeah.
It's like your exit interview. It's like, man.
Yeah.
See ya.
I can't. I don't have any idea.
Is this the one with Chris Adler on drums, or is this the regular the Drover brothers and Chris Broderick and?
It's the. I don't remember.
Anyway.
This one. I somehow this one got past me. Dave Mustaine, Chris Broderick, Sean Drover drums. Okay, so I don't know about 13. If I need to check 13 out, I want you to demand it in the comments that I check it out.
But he's not going to do it voluntarily, and I wouldn't either.
We're going to... I bet we disagree on this one, too. Super Collider.
I bet we don't.
I saw a lot of people complaining about this record and talking about how they hated it, they thought it sucked, they thought it was a terrible album. I find it completely listenable.
I do too.
I find it completely listenable.
Is it my favorite? No. But is it listenable? Yes.
It's more melodic
Yeah.
for Megadeth, but I enjoyed it.
But here's the thing. So the comparison between Megadeth and Metallica will be forever. It's
course.
Forever joined at the hip. It's never going away. But if you want to go album for album, Megadeth kicks Metallica's backside 9 Ways from Sunday, and even the first three is a close competition.
Mm-hmm.
And we could do the same thing with Overkill and the same thing with Testament. I guess that shows you how great the first three Metallicas were, because it bought them goodwill on whatever else they put out afterwards. Megadeth obviously has to stay working, or Megadeth has to just keep working at it, but I don't have a problem with that record.
I think I agree with you to some extent. I think that Metallica's greatness is so massive that even though they have fewer solid front-to-back albums, I think like you're saying, Megadeth's, even though they had a couple of dips in the road along the way, I think Megadeth's catalog is more consistent, but you're just not going to get bigger than Metallica. Obviously, Metallica doesn't have as many albums.
And for whatever reason, that's the case. Because I think Megadeth is equally as good. Although,
Yes.
I mean, both bands have had kind of a revolving door in their lineups. But the one consistency about Metallica is James and Lars, and the consistency about Megadeth is
Well, Kirk's been there from the beginning.
well, actually, not when Dave was there.
Well, that's true.
He's been there a long time.
Yeah.
And well,
He's been on all the albums.
the spinning revolving door is the bass player, but we all know the stories behind that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ron McGovney. How about that? The guy with the trailer and the gas and the money to put gas in the tank.
Now, the most surprising album to me from Megadeth is, and I think they've got a new one actually that I don't have yet. But anyway, the last one that I bought, and so this is where the show is going to end. I remember reading the hype about the new Megadeth album, and I heard the song or the video or the lyric video or whatever they had, and I liked it. And then you and I went to Target
Right.
at the same time at lunch one day, and we picked up Dystopia. Now,
And not only did we go buy the CD on the day it came out at Target, but if you bought the CD, you got a voucher for the vinyl.
that's exactly right.
And the vinyl came 10 days later?
Yeah, and I think what drove both of our interest in that was getting the vinyl, because
Yes.
we were huge vinyl collecting. And so we were like, oh my gosh, if you buy the CD, you can get this. Well, and this was what, $11.99 or something, $9.99 at Target.
I think it was $11.99 and it was $2 off, so it was $9.99.
And then you sent in and got the vinyl
Yeah.
for free.
Yeah.
Well, duh. So there we go. But what I figured out real quick when I tore the wrapper off of this thing was, holy cow!
It tears your head off.
This thing is devastating. It's got the modern Megadeth production, which is top notch, but it's got some of that Rust in Peace.
It's got a little more gravel in the voice.
It's got a little more gravel. It's somewhere around Rust in Peace, and the album or two after that, it kind of floats between those
Rust in
eras.
Peace and Countdown with a little bit of
A little more aggression in places.
yeah. It's a great record.
If the next two after Rust in Peace had been heavier and more brutal, it would have sounded something like this.
Something like that, yeah.
But this thing, man, this is a show-stopping album. If you don't have Megadeth's Dystopia album, you need to get it yesterday.
Yeah,
Sorry about the vinyl.
I still like Endgame as much as I like this, but it's solid.
Really?
And it's
okay,
shocking.
I'll have to go check out Endgame.
Yeah, it's shocking, maybe, but when you listen to Endgame, you'll go, huh, I guess Carcass was right for once. But yeah, I ended up buying they had like a long box that had a banner in it.
Yeah, I've got one right over there.
There you go.
Yeah.
So they had some cool marketing things going on. The whole thing with the vinyl, I mean,
no brainer.
Even if the album sucked, we got a record and a CD for $10 plus
Right.
tax.
Right.
And they delivered it to our door, so we didn't have to waste the gas to find the vinyl.
Right.
But anyway, this thing is, man, Megadeth is solid. In fact, I'm going to say it right now. When I watched that Big Four video, and I realized it's just one performance. But, Anthrax didn't deserve to be on the same stage. Slayer was lethargic, Metallica was mid-rangey, and In the Rain, Megadeth slaughtered all three of those bands, in my opinion, on that one particular video.
Mm-hmm.
They destroyed, and In the Rain, for crying out loud. And so, and I've seen their live in San Diego, you can YouTube it. That is a devastating set list. And then there's a couple where they play the entire Rust in Peace live. And
Yes.
look for those, because
Yes.
those are really, really good. But that they are proof that even after all these years, and they've been around since when? 82, 3?
Yeah.
I mean, now we're talking 35 years again.
Right.
man, they're just still good.
Yep.
And say what you want about you know what? Let's look at the results. Say what you want about Dave's personality. He's a little prickly, with maybe the emphasis on prick, but it doesn't matter. Look at the results of his work. I mean, come on, let's face it. Is Dave Mustaine any more of a douche than, say, Axl Rose? No, he pales in comparison. Yet we give Axl Rose all these accolades with Guns N' Roses, and he's, whatever. We can get into that discussion about personalities somewhere down the road, but the bottom line is Megadeth is still solid, they're still relevant, and they're still putting out great records.
And Megadeth is Dave Mustaine. He's kept them relevant, and he's kept them Megadeth, as silly as that sounds. He has maintained the Megadeth legacy, period.
He parlayed that anger and that disappointment from the very first record, and he has drawn it through, but now he has a perspective on it. I don't think he's Angry Dave. I see him on these current interviews, and he's kind of joking around. He's kind of laughing.
He's political Dave now.
He's a little political. Well, you know what?
That's whatever.
Ted Nugent's political, but
right.
Look at his body of work. The guy's awesome.
Right.
So, politics aside, like I said, metalheads, it doesn't matter race or creed, religion, gender bending, whatever. We're talking about the music here. And yes, some of the music has some political implications. Sure. Holy war, gee whiz.
Right.
What's that all about? Well, we're looking at it right now, you know, if you want to get right down to it. But we're talking about music in its pure form.
One big family.
And man, Megadeth is just, they are kings of what they do.
They have a solid place at the head of the table.
I think so.
When you talk about metal. That's absolutely right. Well, you know this. We love you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with us for all these episodes. Thanks for agreeing with us, disagreeing with us, turning us on to music. We've learned a lot because of stuff that you guys have said, and we appreciate it. I've learned to read because of
hieroglyphics. I mean, it's...
I don't what? It's a pile of sticks. No.
It is a pile of sticks. But you know what? Their music stands alone. Go check them out.
There
Blood
you go.
Incantation, Denver, Colorado. That's a hotbed for some killer bands.
It is.
Havoc, Cloudcatcher, Blood Incantation.
Yeah.
And they worked at that bookstore that you recommend. You remember that? The
Black and Red.
Black and Red.
In Arvada.
Two of those guys worked there, and it was cool to kind of hang out at a place where those guys were. But anyway, long and the short of it, Megadeth.
We love you guys. We will see you next time. Don't forget about the War Beast BCAD CD DVD combo, RTC Music and Media on Facebook and eBay. They only made 300 total, and I have shipped out a boatload over the past couple of weeks. And they sold 150 at the show.
Something.
So they're going, kids.
Number.
If you want one, grab one. That's it. Until next time, we'll come up with something else long-winded to talk about and that nobody cares about. And
Overkill talk, maybe?
Maybe. We'll see.
New wave of British heavy metal talk?
Maybe. We'll have to get... The GOAT will have to be present for that.
And we're headed down to Houston for a huge, huge show. Maybe we'll do a Canadian metal show.
Yeah.
We're going to be in line to see Razor and the infamous Exciter.
Yep.
And
Hellstar.
Power Trip, Visigoth, Oath of Cruelty, Dave Riliak, PLF fame. I told him I had a PLF jacket. And he said, "What's PLF?" And I said, "Pulverizing Lethal Force, Pretty Little Flowers."
Whatever.
I said they're a great grindcore band. They make Insect Warfare sound like the Osmond Brothers. He didn't think that was possible, and now that I think about it,
it's happy music.
Yeah, it's happy grindcore.
Well, thanks for sticking with us. We'll see you at Hell's Heroes 2 in Houston. We will both be there. And until next time,
metal
will
prevail.
Dun, 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 dun.